So, what are you going to talk about today, Kaimin?
Yes. So shall I share my screen or it's okay? Just basically talk.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Of course, you can set up your screen
Yeah.
and
So
we'll be able to see it.
sure, will do. So I'll make a quick and easy quick lecture that basically reflect the the conference that BitMart held back in 2 months ago back in Hong Kong. I think it's a couple of months ago back in Hong Kong, and this is a presentation that talks about the new financial ecosystem and crypto assets in the Web3 era. So my name is Kaimin. I'm serving as a Chief Business Officer at BitMart, mainly in charge of all the partnerships and, of course, listings and incubation and investment. So let me share my screen to this presentation that previously we made. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can see your
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. So the topic we want to talk about is basically back in I think it was back in May. In Hong Kong, there's a huge conference that basically the similar scale as Consensus and East Denver that basically stating Hong Kong will be the new financial system that will be the new financial I would say infrastructure for the basically embracing Web3 to represent Asia. Given that this year Singapore next month is going to have a token 2049, which also a very good signal to illustrate that Asia basically embrace the Web3 um the willing of embracing the Web3. Yeah. The topic that we want to talk about is basically since the Web3 such a terminology have been existing for a while, and a lot of people are actually curious, like what exactly Web3 is, right? I would say, generally speaking, it's nothing huge change, or say nothing like surprisingly change, back compared with Web 2. It's still, basically the same mechanism by just using different kind of, technology, especially empowering, VR, AR, empowering AI, 5G, and of course, blockchain that, to make the internet, also in the network, into a different kind of stage from centralized to decentralized, or say hybrid. One is, the blockchain is it's a basically an infrastructure or a platform for building the smart contract that could making financial system or any kind of system automatically without human beings extra repeated labor to operate. And secondly, which the in the back in the Web 2, our identity are fully centralized and binding with one platform that if you want to try to transfer, it's there's a lot of hassle or a lot of challenge if you really want to transfer your identity from one place to the other because the data format is different. But in the Web3, our identity become decentralized and has more keeps the privacy into your own wallet because your DID eventually existing in your own wallet and represents yourself. And you can also have multiple DID for different platforms, so which gives user more general freedom to select what product they want to use. Um, the other that innovative thing I would say is a decentralized storage because if we think about GCP, a Google Cloud Platform, AWS, or any kinds of storage or say cloud service provider, these are all centralized. While in the Web3, uh, since we have decentralized identity, it is also important to have decentralized storage to make sure all the data are encrypted and 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 stored in a cryptography way instead of say like are able to leak, are able to um get hacked by someone because because of the blockchain technology. Math tells us that the secureness of how blockchain, also how decentralized storage would be. These are all these are all find it because the decentralized storage, or no matter whatever, the decentralized identity, it's everything based on, the blockchain technology. And of course, lastly, the edge computing, because the computing power, storage, network are three the most important triangle node for no matter for the Web 2 or Web 3, right? Because back in the Web 2, we basically have 4G, we have faster network, we have faster computing power. Back that time, the GPU came out, and also storage providers like those um, those like computer clusters are invented back in the Web 2. But in the Web 3, it's still, the similar way how, computing power, network and storage, exists. But it's just, the way how the way and how the technology that empowers those infrastructure has been changed. And the use cases for those, beyond those technology are very various, I would say. But we only want to, focus on, say, the DeFi. DeFi is basically the to illustrate that, since you have, um, a decentralized identity, which gives you, say, financial trading freedom, that people can choose what assets they would like to hold and they would like to swap. Compare with back in the, Web 2, like a centralized bank or centralized financial structure, the assets selection are very limited. And also there's a regional requirement. There's a KY, there was very, detailed KYC requirement, blah, blah, blah. Many different, barriers to make the user um does not really have the, financial trading freedom to be selected, and given, it has to be very limited, right? And the second, which is the DAO, decentralized anonymous organization. Um, because, community is very important for no matter Web 2 or with Web 3. The only difference is, back in the Web 2, think about it, if you're using Google account or if you're using the Amazon account, right? Or even Facebook, somehow it's called Meta, right? Account, you're only limited in one place. I know there's some sort of like Omni auth, that kind of, services, but but in generally speaking, in the centralized, identity, that you're still only able to, having limited access to limited, services. I'm talking about, those applications, no matter web app or mobile app. But with DAO, that each community are over cross at, in many different ways, which empowers the information liquidity, which is, a very good thing for the blockchain industry, or say, the Web3 industry. And I would say, no matter Web 2 or Web 3, the biggest use case are always, GameFi. Because, GameFi is um the lowest barrier, also the most attractive product for user adoptions. And lastly, which is the creator economy, that empowers the creators are able to, bring their own idea to the community, and to the, to all different Web3 communities. So which gives, every, no matter the artist or other kind of creators, are able to bring their voice, bring their talent to different to different use case, to different app, to different platform, of course, and to different communities. Yeah. The new crypto assets are basically, say, the NFT collection that we have been seeing a lot. Also the Soulbound token and in-game assets, which is, the game is definitely a good user adoption platform. On-chain reputation, which is something that, people are building right now. There's a decentralized resume. There's a decentralized identity, which, represents your on-chain reputation, but not only just limited in one, which meaning, in the Web3, users are able to have multiple different identity from different angles to represent a person, because uh, 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 each individual have multiple different degrees to be represented, right? You can't explain, also you can't, describe a person with one sentence. Say he's a good person, he's a bad person. This doesn't make any sense, right? What is good, what is bad, right? There's a multiple different kind of data and ways you are able to describe a person, or say people from different angle. And lastly, which is tokenization of the real assets, that is, basically having um and blockchain technology to empower the bridge between the Web3 virtual assets and the Web2 real world assets. That somehow there will be a bridge to mapping that out. And this year's because of the development of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and on 2020 there's summer DeFi, and later on 2021 NFT boom, and right now the entire world are um we do see a lot of development happening in the Web3, and of course empowered by AI empowered to make it in more even more um even make the acceleration even more faster than the past 20 years of the Web2 development. The creator economy is basically letting everybody are able to being to building their own community, right? Because if we are familiar with TikTok or any kinds of other live platform like OnlyFans, right? Let's say basically it's giving all the creators a new opportunity to gather their fan base. But back in the Web 2, only several stars are able to, because the publish of the media is very limited, or say it's fully centralized. So that makes all the fan base are really follows what the centralized media represents. But in the Web3, the creator economy that really changed the way how media publishes and also changes each individual's opportunity of being or say building their own fan base in the community, which is a very good thing for this world. The data assets are basically um the data that we created are being stored as decentralized, and technologies like AI and the machine learning, they need trustable data, which is the data that we created in Web3 to make the machine learning modeling more having more degree or the angle to being able to think like a neural network. Yep. Um, as we can see, the tether is getting bigger than on settlement volume than Visa and Mastercard, which meaning there's a huge opportunity that behind or say to revamp the previous payment network, because the blockchain or say Web3 financial, it's just basically a decentralized financial network that allows the liquidity of all kinds of different assets, also liquidity of the transfer, getting more convenience for our day-to-day life. So, which meaning after the next bull run, or say after the next bullish market, the Web3 adoption, or say the crypto assets adoption, will be getting way bigger, or say way stronger than at this moment. Uh, 2023 Q1 momentum Bitcoin, obviously it goes way bigger than the all the several all the other big all the other ones. Even though we know um there's some collaboration happening these days, but it is okay that the bottom of the bear market is pretty much already established. So we are seeing the trading volume and the trading activity are actually happening way more actively back in the last year, the end of last year, because of the FTX collapse, right? But now we believe from the data that we believe the investors in the confidence are starting established, getting well established and getting way more solid than the past winter. So we believe that the next bull run is getting ready. It's not ready yet. It's getting ready. Um yeah. So earlier this year, Silicon Valley Bank and the Silvergate, the several banks are uh, get into crisis because you know the market not being stable, so which gives us more opportunity to see more decentralized finance to moving forward. As you may notice, these days the DEX are starting raising their voice, kind of similar like back in 2020, the DeFi summer. But it's not the DeFi. It's not the DeFi summer won't happen as the same as the past as again. But we do see the way how traders, how investors seeking for decentralized finance with decentralized identity is becoming the key because of centralized banks un uncertainty. Yeah. Um. So the opportunity in Web3, which illustrates us, it will be a bridge. There will be all kinds of bridge between Web2 and Web3 for the real world assets to the virtual world assets. Also, meta to the meta assets. On-chain data analysis, no matter say Web2 or Web3, we any activity we do, we create data like say transactions, say user logging, users behavior. It's just a way. The difference is in the way how we store those data in a centralized or decentralized way. Back in the Web 2, we have identity data service provider like KYC, like um DMB, that kind of data storage or data providers that to help the business to grow. It's just the way how differently in the Web3 that the data identity will be stored in a decentralized way. Also, the encryption to ensure the data is not easily hackable or directly displayed the into public. The privacy enhancement, something like a ZK or even more cryptography or even more new cryptography methodology or the consensus mechanism are introducing to the Web3 ongoing development side to make our data to be more say insured and secured in the future. Yeah, that's pretty much what we presented back in Hong Kong for regarding the Web3 and the new financial ecosystem. Yeah, feel free to pop in questions if you would like. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaimin.
Of course,
And is
of
there
course, my
any
pleasure.
question?
Sure. Yep. Yes. That's a very great. That's a very, very good question. I was not here to to promote BitMart, but since you, no, 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 yeah, since since you asked, I would love to take it.
Feel free, please.
Yeah. So basically, I know previously we had some challenge, uh, during the market, shifting. So back in back in the past 2 years, we have been firstly which enhance our platform security, which we have been working with more than 7 cybersecurity companies for penetration test on our platform, which basically these cybersecurity companies are representing our our secureness and make sure all our all the login gateway, make sure all the system healthy, make sure the pressure, the server pressure that we are able to handle in into a more more secured way. So given that as the gatekeeper or say Cerberus to keep the keep the gate, right? Besides that, we have been upgrading a lot, on the product side, which one we last year we had the NFT marketplace. It's centralized, yeah. Last year we have a central NFT marketplace go live, which I would say it goes pretty good. Because we already integrated also listed more than 500. I think it's more than 500 NFT assets. So as long as have any kind of NFT or if yourself, being a creator, feel free to find me on Twitter or on LinkedIn. We can definitely talk to support you, to support the creator or artist community. That's the purpose of having such an NFT marketplace. It's not for profit because everything you do on over there it's free. It's not for profit. It's just as a platform to support all the content creators. Yeah. Secondly, which we have our derivative perp and futures go live last year. That is now something as crypto exchange, something must have, right? Fully understood. Um, Lastly, which we are also um working on the layer two and a DEX solution internally because we want to build BitMart as become a complex a kind of like say Web3 assets complex, right? Not just the Bitcoin, Ethereum, the kind of spot trading, not just the Humanode, right? But also there's a lot of the different assets existing there. We want to onboarding all those different kind of assets and bring the financial trading freedom to our user in many different ways. Yeah, thank you. Of course. Mhm. Mm. Yes, yes. I do working with a lot of project team every day. Uh, Several advice I would suggest. One, which is if you're trying to build, try to build during the bear market because in the bull market things shifting so fast, right? For example, Humanode, they build um very solid. No, 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 yeah, no kidding. They build very solidly even during the bear market because the team is very solid. So the product they build and people during the bear market, you can calm down and without hearing those noise outside there or not being FOMO by any new shifting like quick shifting thing going there that it doesn't like shifts your mind just like one click. Right, so it is better that during this bearish market that start building, and during the bull market, you're able to say, achieve some sort of goal or say, achieve some sort of, roadmaps. That's one. The second is think about how market will be, shifted no matter on the bear market or bull market. So which I'm, trying to say is to make sure your idea is solid enough for um, market condition agnostic, right? Say for example, it's not like I have a bias or anything. Just to state, for example, a couple of months ago, when say AI somehow become another booming word again and again, compare with 10, I think it's 6 or 7 years ago, AI used to be another kind of a boom, right? But later on, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a third wave of AI. But it doesn't mean when you are building something, you have to shift into AI again because the wave is coming. Because the product you're trying to build, if it is, like say the market condition agnostic, which meaning you can both survive during the bear and the bull market, which will be a good thing, right? For example, platform. any kinds of platform is always a good idea to say onboarding assets and onboarding clients, no matter say bull market or bear market, because everybody, no matter what the market condition, they have um the essential needs for the assets exchange, right? And also for another example, DID. DID is always needed no matter bear market or bull market, because no matter what, you need your driver's license going out every day, right? No matter which occupation or which level you're at. Yeah. And lastly is try to find the product market fit and try to build your own decentralized community, having um more developers, also even more users onboarding with your platform. Because now the Web3 market promotion is kind of different from the Web2 market promotion. Yeah. So try to go for decentralized community or say DAO, that kind of the way of building your community. It doesn't mean you have to issue a DAO, okay? It just means you need to maintain your community in a good way. So basically, team, product, and community. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you for the wise words, Kaimin. And well, one last question, but not the least one, is basically about um, the blockchain narrative. So you see, people know that most of the bull markets in the past were always connected to some form of narrative, right? That was driving the ideas, was driving the creation behind the projects on this market. Now, I know it's very hard to determine the narratives of the future, but might you try to, well, tell us like one or three narratives that you see in your mind that might drive the bull market that like that is to come?
Um, the pool, the actually, the most, since I was in the industry since 2016, been seeing 2 waves for now. Uh, I wouldn't say it's the must. Also, what I illustrating is 100% correct. But one signal that we can obviously see is the Bitcoin halving. Generally speaking, the market shifting as of the Bitcoin halving, it's a very good signal that illustrates us how the because after the halving, which meaning the supply goes slower and slower. That is the Bitcoin's mechanism, right? If you refer to the Bitcoin white paper back to 2008, if the supply goes much more slower, and the demand will go in a different, but if the demand is still there, which makes the price going shifting into another way, right? That's one. And second is uh I I personally I believe the combination of DeFi and the RWA, real world assets, will somehow become, or say somehow creates several different kinds of bridge. I'm not 100% sure how that kind of bridge would be looks like. It might be institution kind of bridge. It might be a P2P kind of bridge. It might be some sort of other protocol as a bridge that maps the real world assets and the metaverse assets, right? Because no matter say Web2 or Web3 or real world or meta world, um, we all human being. We all have exchange and liquidity needs, right? So that is something. The second thing that I'm seeing, going there, moving there. Lastly, which I would say, as of from my perspective, seeing a lot of new type of a blockchain coming out. Because if you recall the memory back in the last cycle, Solana is the biggest winner at a certain point. I mean, they're still doing well these days. Okay, I'm not I'm not saying they're not good. They're still doing well, doing good. But the blockchain technology itself, it always has to be getting more and more innovative, getting more and more advanced, right? So if you say, right now I tell you, say, okay, I use Bitcoin to create a payment network, you're gonna be like, man, are you kidding me? Right? Because compared with 2008, less than 20 year, uh, the development of blockchain technology are already going from one era to another era. So I do see there's a more and more new and advanced blockchain technology, or say mainnets, as an infrastructure for all kind of the different systems, are on the way and get ready to build their community and getting ready for the new financial system. Yeah, that's all three narratives. I believe it sounds like interesting ones. Yeah.